From some pretty big reveals regarding the multiverse to the appearance of multiple Kang variants, if you paid attention, the new Ant Man and the Wasp film was overflowing with Easter eggs and references, starting with how Kang brags about killing Thor and other Avengers. In the multiverse, there are several versions of Kang, but Kang the Conqueror has battled the Avengers in various timelines. When Kang discovered that Ant Man was an Avenger, he inquired if he had previously encountered him. Not just that, he also claimed to have defeated a version of Thor, referring to him as the one with the hammer. Who could have seen that one coming? But that's not the only interesting Easter egg, because comic book fans may have noticed that Bill Murray's Kryler is an obscure Marvel character. Kryler is one of Janet Van Dyne's associates from the Quantum Realm. He aided the original Wasp in safeguarding the Quantum Realm from Kang. In the comics, he resided in a subatomic world, but his character was relatively insignificant and perished shortly after his introduction. If you ask me, that's what makes the MCU so interesting though. The writers are really brilliant at incorporating all these obscure characters and giving them the spotlight. Interestingly enough, they're also sometimes able to reuse existing actors, like how Ant Man's David Dastmalchian returned as a completely different character. He previously portrayed Kurt in the Ant Man films, but in Quantumania, Dastmalchian voices Veb, the creature without holes. Scott and Cassie encounter the character after entering the Quantum Realm. This whole situation is unlike Corey Stoll, who plays MODOK in the film, but also reprises his role as Darren Cross from the first Ant Man. David Dastmalchian's Veb is unrelated to his previous character Kurt, and I'm sure if you've seen the film already, there was no doubt about it. I mean, look at the two, they're miles apart. Speaking of MODOK, I've got to talk about how he was Yellow Jacket all along. With this new film, fans have finally gotten their first good look at MODOK. But as with anything that gets added to the MCU, there's a unique twist. Unlike the comic version of the character, who was head of AIM, in Ant Man 3, Darren Cross becomes MODOK. Although Ant Man implied that Yellow Jacket didn't survive his encounter with Ant Man, Quantumania reveals that Cross survived and was sent to the Quantum Realm. Due to the uneven shrinking of his body, and with Kang the Conqueror's assistance, the mechanized organism designed only for killing, or MODOK for short, was brought into existence. I honestly didn't see that coming at all, just like how this next bit completely surprised many fans. Yep, I'm talking about how Ant Man's thief past is the key to Kang's plan. Kang the Conqueror requires Ant Man's assistance in stealing an object. As a result, Scott Lang, who had previously abandoned his criminal past, must undertake another heist. His journey as Ant Man began when he committed a theft in Hank Pym's residence, and now he must retrieve the multiversal engine of Kang's ship, bringing his journey full circle. It's worth noting that every Ant Man film has featured a significant heist, so this was pretty much expected. But still, it's cool that the film features a heist on a quantum level. Speaking of references to previous MCU projects, Loki's variant term was used in Quantumania. Loki, the master of words and the god of mischief, introduced us to the term variant in the MCU. It describes the multiversal versions of a character, meaning all the lookalikes running around the multiverse. Phase 4 jumped on the multiverse bandwagon after Loki Season 1, but the word variant had yet to make an appearance in an MCU film. Until now, that is. Jonathan Majors' Kang the Conqueror straight up uses the term variant. He does so to describe all the other versions of himself from different dimensions. It's like looking in a mirror, but one of those creepy mirrors that distorts your reflection. While I'm on the subject of the multiverse, it's pretty cool how the MCU builds on its design with this film. Starting with Loki Season 1, Episode 1, the MCU has kept the visual style of the multiverse consistent. Think of it like a signature look, a stamp of approval, if you will. The same illustrations used in Loki to explain the multiverse popped up again in Spider-Man No Way Home. And now, in Ant Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Kang gives Janet Van Dyne a tour of time and space, showing her the infinite timelines that exist within the MCU's multiverse. It's like a cosmic amusement park, but instead of rides, There are different versions of you running around. It's enough to make your head spin, but that's nothing compared to the next Easter egg. And it's the fact that Kang's chair and ship are central to the movie's story. This may not be too surprising for longtime comic fans, since his spaceship plays an important role in his character's history in the comics. The ship has been a part of Kang's appearances in both Fantastic Four and Avengers comics, just like in the movie. But the ship has been tampered with by Janet Van Dyne in the film, whereas in the comics, Kang was unable to use his chair and ship to return home immediately. Another interesting tidbit about Kang is that he name drops incursions. He sure knows how to ruin the party. In the film, the villain mentions the dreaded incursions, which are catastrophic events that occur when multiple universes collide. These ultimately lead to their destruction. He warns about the potential chaos that could ensue if he doesn't leave the quantum realm. And it seems like this is a threat that's not to be taken lightly. And if you think this is just another throwaway term, think again. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness also introduced the incursions as a major threat, and comic book fans will recognize them as a key element of the Secret Wars storyline from 2015. So buckle up, folks, because things are about to get multiversal. Oh, and speaking of things getting larger, Cassie Lang's giant woman transformation is a Civil War callback. In the final fight, Cassie transforms into a giant, which is a nod to her giant woman alias in the comics. But the scene also pays homage to Ant Man's moment in the airport fight scene from Civil War. Cassie repeats the same phrase before going giant, just like her father did. Additionally, her desire for citrus fruits after returning to her regular size is also reminiscent of Ant Man's similar craving in Civil War. There were a bunch of cool nods involving Cassie, like how her superhero future is teased in Quantumania. In the movie, she gains the skills and knowledge to become a superhero, thanks to Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne. Although she doesn't officially adopt a superhero name, her training and experience with Pym particles and the quantum realm suggests she may become Stature in the future. While her status as a superhero isn't yet confirmed, her potential to join the ranks of the Avengers is definitely worth keeping an eye on. And I can't talk about Easter eggs without mentioning that post-credit scene, because Victor Timely appears in the movie's second post-credit scene. In the comics, Victor is actually Kang Prime, who hides in the early 20th century by pretending to be a politician and inventor. It's unclear whether the Victor in the Ant Man and the Wasp Quantumania post-credit scene is Kang Prime in disguise, or maybe even a different Kang variant altogether. I honestly think you can expect anything from the MCU at this point. Plus, there's another interesting thing in the post-credit scene, and it's the fact that Loki and Mobius return. I don't know about you, but I was thrilled to see the return of the dynamic duo. The two were seen in the audience during Timely's speech, looking understandably frightened and worried. Given the fact that the previous season ended with a Kang variant seizing control of the TVA, it's understandable why Loki and Mobius would be on edge. That's all for the Easter eggs and references present in the new Ant Man and the Wasp movie.